All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. This is interesting. Journey singer Arnel Pineda fires back at critics following brother's drug arrest. Social media is a rough place to be. When something happens that doesn't look upon you or your family in a positive way, then, the trolls and the keyboard warriors, they're going to come out and they're going to do what they do. And in this case, they've been given, sort of a gift on a silver platter, unfortunately, and that's a shame for everybody involved. Arnel didn't do anything wrong, but here's the story. Journey singer Arnel Pineda has fired back at his critics. Now, what are they critical of? I mean, his critics, people who criticize him for what? Existing? For being the current lead singer of Journey? For not being Steve Perry? Just that first sentence alone. See, I'm starting to be the guy who has to pull apart the English language a little bit, because nobody else does. Nobody else seems to notice when people make these blanket assumptions or statements. He has fired back at his critics. No, he's probably fired back at trolls who are likely no better than Arnel or even his brother. Okay, but here we go. So he fired back at his critics, which makes no sense, following the arrest of his younger brother for alleged illegal drug peddling in Quezon City, just northeast of Manila, in the Philippines. Now, according to the Manila Bulletin, 51-year-old Rushmon Pineda was arrested Tuesday night for possessing 4 sachets of methamphetamine worth about $2,087 in a buy-bust operation. Also arrested was his cohort, who was identified as 30-year-old Rojamar Friles. The two are facing charges for violating Republic Act 9165 or the Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. Apparently they have a drug war in the Philippines, which my own personal opinion on this is we're wasting our time. And I know people will disagree with me, but here in the United States, we've had a failed war on drugs for decades. And when you put a prohibition on something, what happens is it goes underground. There's no tax revenue from this transaction because it's, again, off the books, and you create this dangerous economy. And look, do I think drugs are good? Nope, I don't. But what you have to do is educate people that they're not good, while at the same time you let go of this failed endeavor known as the war on drugs. Now, you can disagree with that. I'm putting it in there because this whole thing wouldn't be an issue if you didn't have this war on drugs. And it's weird that they do this in the Philippines. The Philippines is a very authoritarian country. Just so everybody is aware that things are a little different there. When they crack down on something, they really crack down. I'm glad I live in the United States. That's all I can tell you. At least for now. We'll see what happens on November 3rd. Things could become more like the Philippines after November 3rd. In any event, Arnel, who has been fronting Journey since 2007, took to his Instagram to respond to negative comments made about him and his family in the wake of the news of his brother's arrest. Now, who is reporting this? This is the first time I've seen this article. Of course, it's on blabbermouth.net. They are the TMZ of the rock world, basically, and they throw this stuff out there. Sometimes they're helpful, and this article in particular, I'm still wondering who his critics are here. Are they critics, or again, are they just people behind the keyboard? In fact, Arnel uses my expression here. To the bashers who chose to cowardly succumb to prejudice and unkindness. Of course, you know, Arnel's Asian heritage is constantly being, like, I don't know, it's close to being racist. And I hate throwing around that word nowadays because it's way overdone. It's way overused. But he calls it prejudice. Prejudice and unkindness. While hiding conveniently in the cloak of your keyboards and computer screens, there are more helpful and useful things to do, like facing your precious mirror once in a while, he wrote. Who knows, you might find yourselves as imperfect as me, my family, and everyone else. Ain't that the truth? You know, I hate to throw some Christianity in here, but I was taught a long time ago, and it's an early tenet of the Christian faith, is that there are none righteous, there are none good, no, not one. We all have the capacity and the propensity to go off course. So, again, when you throw shade at somebody, that shade often comes back and will hit you right between the eyes if you're not careful. It's a sanctimonious thing to do when you don't know all the details of the story. Plus, this isn't about Arnel. I mean, Arnel doesn't have to be his brother's keeper here. Again, another famous expression. But he goes on, to my friends and supporters who know that our friendship is eternally abounded by time and space. You know who you are. Thank you for your prayers and love. You don't even know how much all of you have hugely blessed us by sending kind and comforting words. And he goes on, may God be with you always, love and peace. So again, Arnel, one of those guys who wouldn't really hurt a fly. I don't know his brother. But to throw this all on Arnel Pineda, that's typical of social media. It's tough because you want to be accessible to people in social media. You want to look as though if you have fans that they can access you and you can have a conversation with them. But I don't know. In this day and age, there is certainly a downside to it. And the downside I found out personally, and it wasn't even probably half as bad as this, although when people threaten your life and so forth, that's kind of bad. So it's just kind of bad. There's no kind of smiley face you can put on that. Born in the Philippines, Pineda joined Journey after guitarist Neil Schon discovered him leading a Manila cover band on YouTube. Thanks for the update there, Blabbermouth. We didn't know anything about Arnel Pineda. Arnel is still the lead vocalist for Journey, and technically this has nothing to do with Arnel Pineda. So just keep that in mind. This is the kind of stuff that can really ruin your day and your month, but in 2020, I'm sure it's just like par for the course at this point. My best to Arnel and his family, and again, this stuff is just to be expected. That's all I can say. All right, I am done with this video. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and make sure you hit that bell for notifications. And yes, you can join that Patreon for just $1 a month. If you want to have a conversation, send over a message, comment on a thread that's over there. Had a thread up this week about Edward Van Halen, and obviously he is the continued topic of discussion. And if you have anything else you'd like to add to that discussion, you could do so over on Patreon. But yes, it'll cost at least $1 a month unless you want to donate more to the cause, which is, again, my Patreon page. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.